Is our boy in frame? Guys, we're doing the Grifter statue today. Welcome back to Wildstorm Wednesdays. I need some coffee here. We've had one heck of a morning getting a new episode out to you guys. We're doing a Grifter statue today, somewhat to compliment, well, now it's complimenting. The original episode was supposed to be a Travis Sherris breakdown of his rise and fall during the Wildcats monthly series where he took over for one Jim Lee. That episode ran into technical difficulties after rendering and getting scheduled, but there's no playback. I deal with technical problems all day. Even last night, getting into live stream, we had a major technical failure with this web camera. Sometimes I don't want to deal with technical issues since that's what we do with my day job. That's right. When you pay a parking ticket here in Philadelphia, PA, you're moving through this guy's systems. So with all of that said, it's the morning. We don't have a video. Well, we got to do something. And I love pairing videos together. So yesterday for Top Cow Tuesday, we did this sweet ballistic statue. And today we're doing Clayburn Moore's interpretation of Grifter. This was one of the first statues that had a full diorama attached to it. It's an amazing piece. It's also of an age where things were just fun and affordable. You could spend $100, $150, and you would get yourself one of these. You know, little bit, little bit of a logo on the bottom. That was very innovative at the time. Just the bottoms of these were head spinning. But this is like the first time we've seen Grifter in 3D form. We've seen Grifter as a representation of what he might look and feel like in real life. This was absolutely innovative at the time. Before I ramble any further, let me just get some of this. We're going to hit the drawing table. I want to show you some of the details of this faux show. But you need to know who Clayburn Moore is and was. During this time, he was rising up with Rainy Bowen. Rainy Bowen later completely solidified himself in comic book fandom, comic book collectordom. He is the greatest and the GOAT. There is no second to his run of the Marvel comic book characters when he had the license. He would do monthly drops. You would have to check his website all the time. And since then, a lot of those statues have absolutely appreciated in value. He would do variations. He would do metallic and regular and bronze and silver. He did an absolute run of classic Marvel characters. But during this time, he wasn't solidified yet. And all the Image guys, Eric Larson's, Dale Keown, Jim Lee, Mark Silvestri, they all gravitated towards Clayburn Moore. And the reason for that is Clayburn's aesthetic. Big boobs, big butts. He sculpted Lady Death. He sculpted Pitt. He knew what the flavor of the 90s were. Muscles on muscles and all of that fun, fantastic stuff. Clayburn Moore was really of the era. He was of the time. And to me, these statues are a little bit more valuable, a little bit more significant because they're made out of like clay. I know at the time, Sculpey was the material. Sculpey was what got all the attention. But technically, you know, can we still make the argument that these were made out of clay? I think so. Because according to the Greeks, we were made out of clay. And I'd like that simile metaphor. So, AKAPADers, we have to highlight this. We have to take a closer look to the first time Grifter, who, again, we'll highlight on this channel, had one heck of a solo series, one heck of a one-shot. His crossovers with The Mask, his crossovers with Bedrock, his crossover with She, these are all commendable events. Grifter really became the mascot of Wildstorm Productions, but he's not quite there yet. We're juggling popularity within the ranks of Wildcats. We're not quite there for the Wildcat Saturday morning TV series, cartoon TV series, not live action. And Gen 13 Oh, excuse me, and Gen 13 hasn't quite taken over the entire line. Everything changed with Gen 13. We're holding off on that episode, but right now, in the air, in the time of Wildstorm Productions, it's Wildcats and Stormwatch, and we never got anything 3D at all from Stormwatch. Now, technically, we can argue anything of the Authority in 3D is Stormwatch, but, well, you guys will have to watch our Wildcats Aliens episode to get a little bit more insight into that. So let's hit the drawing table. Yes, we're hitting the drawing table, and let's just have a closer look at a style of statue that is long forgotten, that I much rather prefer, because this is accessible. This isn't a $5,000 monstrosity that, with its scale, is not impressive. It's easy to make things big, but it takes absolute talent to make something so spectacular and somewhat handheld, right? Can we call this handheld? Let's hit that drawing table. AKAPAD, say hello to beautiful Philadelphia, PA. And he's already sitting here. Sorry, I don't just normally hang out with a beautiful Grifter statue at my drawing table, but sometimes we get action figures. Last night, we were streaming live. We streamed for a good 2 hours, and I've been working on a Wildstorm Productions sketchbook, and I pulled this figure out for a quick reference. And we also needed Stormwatch issue 12 here to get a reference for Death Trap, who fights Hellstrike here. We drew him. But let me get some of this. This is last night's coffee. And don't mind my hand. The ink from last night, I had a pen explode on me last night as I was like, I'm not joking. There's been nothing but technical difficulties. I know some of this is still on my face. It's super early in the morning. I haven't even like showered yet. Yeah, so here, AKAPAD, I have to say how much I love the detail of this. Look how nice this tire looks. In the setting, the idea that he's maybe in, right, like some destroyed, decayed city. A little bit of like the backstory we had for Hawkeye and Black Widow in the Avengers movie. It's like he is in a war-torn country, a war-torn environment. But look, we got dust everywhere, but look how nice he handles that Jim Lee hair. We have awesome placement of the guns. This is an absolute Jim Lee gun. This is like from the book itself. And I just love how, like, it's, I want to say posable, but it's not posable, but from every single angle. And look at the bullet wounds on the side of the wall here. He's just in mid motion. He really looks like he's about to strike. It looks like he's about to pull the trigger. You know, he gets the muscles within muscles, which we see here. Oh, trying not to touch his DICK spot, but just the way how he intersects the wrinkles with the quads here, the laces for the boot, and let's check out the bottom. Let's check out the bottom because we have a full logo here. Look, Jim Lee's Grifter. That's the logo for the comic series. Edition 181 of 2200, and there he is. More creations made in China. Yeah. But AKA, I mean, look at the belts and the detail. This is before we got spoiled with action figures. If we really wanted a hardcore representation of a character, we had to do this. And AKAPAD, just to give you a little bit of a comparison, this is what's immediately next to my drawing table. Clayburn more Sculpts, the Max here. Clayburn more Sculpts, Witchblade here. This is a Rainy Bowen, and I love the early Rainy. I prefer early Rainy Bowen than anything he did later. Yeah, AKAPAD, Grifter for the first time in 3D form.